Guys, join the community. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and thumbs this video up if you enjoyed the video. I want to know from the boxing fans, the hardcore boxing fans who watch my videos, the subscribers. I want to know, who do you guys want to see Anthony Joshua in his next fight? Right? There's been a lot of options for him, right? You had the Deontay Wilder, you had the Tyson Fury, you had the Dillian Whyte, you had the Luis Ortiz, you had the Jarrell Miller. Those were like the guys that were mentioned the most, at least, for a possible fight with Anthony Joshua. Like, out of those guys that I mentioned, one of those guys seems like is gonna be Anthony Joshua's next opponent. Like, who do you guys want him to be up in there against? Out of all those guys, as a fan, you guys are boxing fans. What fight excites you the most, right? What fight excites you? Like, what fight you look at and you're like, you know what? This makes me wanna, watch this fight. Like, you get hyped up for it and you can't wait to see it. Does Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua, does that do it for you? Does Anthony Joshua fighting Tyson Fury for, British supremacy as the best British heavyweight? Does Dillian Whyte, a rematch between him, excite you? Does Luis Ortiz versus Anthony Joshua excite you? Or does Jarrell Miller versus Anthony Joshua excite you? Now, when it comes to me, so yeah, let me know in the comment section below, like, what fight hypes you up the most? When it comes to me, I would say that, like, I actually would dig Anthony Joshua versus Luis Ortiz. To be honest, I'll be honest with you, I think that's a decent fight. And I don't know why, but I would be excited for that fight. I would be excited for Anthony Joshua versus Luis Ortiz. But, Luis Ortiz ducked him, and he's fighting Christian Hammer. Obviously, I would be excited for Deontay Wilder, right? I would be hyped versus Anthony Joshua. That's a fight that is one of those fights that you're going to be glued to the TV screen looking at that fight, just watching it, like, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen. Although I believe that AJ is going to win, it's very dangerous. Anytime somebody faces Wilder, it's always a possibility that he could get hit with a right hand, and the guy could be on, Queer Street all over the place. So it's exciting for that factor. That's what excites me about that fight, is that danger. It's a danger thing there. So that's a fight obviously I want to see. I would also honestly be excited for Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua, just because Tyson Fury has talked a lot of smack about Anthony Joshua throughout the years, and he makes it seem like Anthony Joshua is a bodybuilder. He's going around saying AJ's just a bodybuilder, and he has no talent. He's gone around saying that he could beat Anthony Joshua with one hand tied behind his back, right? He's gone around making it seem like this is such an easy mismatch for him, and that he could easily spank Anthony Joshua. So I want to see how true that is. Could he actually do that? Because I remember he was saying the same thing about Wilder, and he went in there and gave Wilder a boxing lesson. So that's what hypes me up about that, is all the shit talking that Fury said, for the years, throughout the years. Could he back that up? Could he actually give Anthony Joshua a boxing lesson? That's what excites me about that. When it comes to the Dillian Whyte fight, I'm also excited about that too. Not as excited for, like, Luis Ortiz versus Anthony Joshua, Fury, or Deontay Wilder. And I think that's because I saw that fight already. And I'm one of those people, when I see like a fight already and then a rematch happens, if it was a good fight, the first fight, I'll be excited for it. But I'm not I'm just one of those people that I prefer watching fighters who have never fought each other. Like, this is what I am. That hypes me up the most, because I don't know what happens. I don't know what's the outcome. I don't know how this guy deals with this guy's certain style, because I never saw these guys fight each other. But when it comes to Dillian Whyte, that's why, for me, I'm not as excited as opposed to the other fighters who could possibly fight AJ. But it's still intriguing, just because Dillian Whyte, I believe, has improved as a fighter So I want to see if, like, that would be the curious thing for me, or the thing that will hype me up about that fight, the rematch, is Dillian Whyte's, you know, the fact that he's improved. Is he gonna change his style against Anthony Joshua? Because in the first fight he was trying to like play the boxer. I thought he was in the back foot. Would he approach the second fight, the rematch, differently? You know, I think he has the punching power to hurt Anthony Joshua, because Dillian Whyte's a massive puncher. That would be the curious part about it for me, is how does Dillian Whyte approach the rematch? You know, he's become a better fighter since their first fight. Will he attempt to outbox him, like, or try to play the counterpuncher, or will he be the aggressor? Which I think would be a great style in terms of excitement if Dillian Whyte was aggressive, the way he was aggressive against Joseph Parker. I think that would be a great style for Mr. AJ and Dillian Whyte. Although it might be very just risky for, you know, Dillian Whyte, because, you know, you be aggressive with Anthony Joshua, you're gonna get uppercutted. So that's how it is for me. And yes, I agree with people. Like the least most exciting fight would be the Jarrell Big Baby Miller fight, and I guess it's really just because Jarrell Miller, although I think he's a good fighter and he's underrated, it's just because he's not as known. Let's be real, he's not as known as Dillian Whyte, as Tyson Fury, or as Deontay Wilder, and because he's not as known, I think this is why many boxing fans aren't as excited. But I honestly believe that his style versus Anthony Joshua would actually be entertaining. I think Anthony Joshua versus Jarrell Miller, I think that's going to be a fight that, if it does get made, going into the fight, people will not be excited for it, because they'll be like, Jarrell Miller's not really known. But I think after the fight, I think people will love that fight, because I think just their styles will be an entertaining fight. So I think it'll be a case where going into the fight, people will be like, maybe some people will be like trashing the fight, like, I don't really like Jarrell Miller as an opponent for AJ. But then after the fight, because the fight was so exciting, they'll be like, oh man, this was a great fight. And they'll forget all about the fact that they didn't know who Jarrell Miller really was, right? So I think it'll be that type of fight. Just because I think, like I said, styles, you know, I study styles. I think his style and AJ's style is a good fight, an entertaining styles. So yeah. Wilder, Tyson Fury, Luis Ortiz, those are like the three opponents that I'm excited for AJ as fights for him. But it seems like we're not gonna have none of those, because Luis Ortiz already has a fight booked, and Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder are fighting. So we're gonna have to settle for, it seems like, either you know, Dillian Whyte or Jarrell Miller. Who knows? Maybe Vladimir Klitschko actually does come back, and maybe out of nowhere, we're here. Eddie Hearn announce Vladimir Klitschko versus Anthony Joshua too, because, you know, boxing is like that. Sometimes fights get announced that you never expected. You're like, what the hell? What? Vladimir Klitschko versus Joshua rematch? Kind of like, remember when out of nowhere Eddie Hearn announced Kell Brook versus Gennady Golovkin in England? What? You were shocked, right? Kind of like when Amir Khan versus Canelo Alvarez was announced. You were shocked, right? I also felt that way when Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence Jr. was announced. I was like, what? Mikey Garcia moving up to welterweight to challenge Errol Spence Jr.? That's crazy. Like, I did not expect that. But yeah. So maybe something like that. You know, we're all expecting either to be Dillian Whyte or Jarrell Big Baby Miller, but maybe Eddie Hearn is behind the scenes chatting with Vladimir Klitschko, and he's gonna just announce the rematch. And who knows? You know, you never know. But yeah, there's only like a week left before Eddie Hearn, because Eddie Hearn said he's gonna announce in a week who Anthony Joshua's next opponent will be. So I'm very curious, and I want to know you guys' opinions. Who are you guys excited to watch Anthony Joshua up against? Anyway, guys, if you're new to the channel, subscribe and thumbs the video up if you enjoyed it. I upload every single day. Extremely consistent boxing channel, and yeah, every day. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.